suggested that
on the 15th of July. Sounds of the 70s, of course, back next Sunday from 3. In the meantime, don't forget you can catch up on any recent editions of either show via BBC Sounds, and if you haven't done so already, click on the subscribe button to make it easier to find the shows in future. Coming up next, Paul O'Grady, Johnny Walker saying take good care, and I'll see you next time. This is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 5 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell. The Cabinet Minister, Therese Coffey, has insisted that the Prime Minister was not aware of any specific claims of inappropriate behaviour against the former Deputy Chief Whip, Chris Pincher, before he was appointed to the role in February. Mr Pincher has denied new allegations made about his conduct in the Sunday newspapers. He'd resigned from the Conservative Parliamentary Party after it was claimed last week that he'd groped two men. The Shadow Business Secretary, Jonathan Reynolds, told Sophie Ridge on Sky News that there were questions for the Prime Minister.
I think we've got to acknowledge what the consistent problem is, and it is a Conservative Party that repeatedly chooses to do what is politically expedient over what is right. It's clear from what we know this morning that Chris Pincher should never have been put back into the Whip's office. And I'm so frustrated that, again, the whole reputation of politics and Parliament in this country is being besmirched by this.
At least 5 people have been killed in the Italian Alps after a chunk of ice fell from a glacier. The collapse is reported to have triggered an avalanche on the mountain of Marmolada in the Italian Dolomites. The Defence Ministry in Moscow says Russian troops have completed the capture of the eastern Ukrainian region of Luhansk. It says they've taken full control of the city of Lysychansk, but Kiev has disputed this claim. And Ukraine's ambassador to Turkey says custom officials have seized a Russian cargo ship carrying Ukrainian grain. The Kremlin has rejected claims of theft, saying Russia is exporting goods from territories it controls. Thousands of people have been told to leave their homes in Sydney because of torrential rain and flash flooding. From Sydney, Shaima Khalil reports.
In the southwestern Sydney suburb of Camden, home to more than 100,000 people, local shops, restaurants and a petrol station were inundated, with cars barely visible on some roads. Many communities have seen a month's worth of rain in the past couple of days alone. This is the start of the school holiday, and many families in New South Wales had been planning to travel. But the message from the emergency services is that unless people have been ordered to evacuate, they should stay at home.
The groundbreaking theatre and film director Peter Brook has died at the age of 97. During a career that spanned 7 decades, he won multiple awards and worked with a series of famous names, including Sir Laurence Olivier, Sir John Gielgud and Adrian Lester. Nick Curtis is the chief theatre critic at the Evening Standard newspaper. He says modern theatre exists because of Peter Brook's legacy.
Any of the things that might once have been considered radical that are now normal on our stages, such as performing in found space, immersive theatre, colourblind casting, or as he called it, colour-aware casting, colour-open casting. He regarded it as a very liberating thing. All of these things were begun by him 10 years, 15 years, 20 years before the mainstream adopted them.
Tennis, and Britain's Heather Watson has been knocked out of Wimbledon. She lost in straight sets to Jule Neymeyer of Germany. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 5. BBC Radio 2. Time now for the traffic news. Here's Orna.
Nikki, thank you. And first of all to Perth and Kinross, the M90. So it's northbound, junction 10 at Craigend to the A9 Broxton roundabout. That queue's still there where the roadworks are. And there's still a slight queue on the southbound side of the Queensferry crossing. And around junction 2 at Petrevi is where the accident was further up. And that's easing but still busy. Cheshire queues have almost gone now on the M6 southbound, the 22 New Lewis to 21A at the M61 at the Croft interchange. Liverpool to Chester, the bike ride was on today, which meant the closure of the Birkenhead Tunnel. That's still going on. Wallasey Tunnel is open. Staffordshire queues, the D Road, and all traffic was being held. It was on the southbound side near 16 of the M6, so at Crewe, through to the A34 at Talk Road, and that was after an accident. There are queues through the roadworks section at junction 14, Stafford North. Lane closures in place on the M6 southbound. Northampton and Northamptonshire, really, it's around Silverstone. You've got the Grand Prix on today, which means quite a few roads are closed, and busy traffic on the A43 at the A413 as well. That's that's looking quite slow. Big problems for you too on the M5. Now, it's been blocked in both directions for several hours. North and southbound, it's at the bottom end at Exeter at junction 30 through to junction 28 at Cullompton. It's mainly being held. Apparently, they have reopened the southbound side, but the queues are still there, and the air ambulance has been and gone more in an hour.
On BBC Sounds, on your smart speaker, and on 88 to 91 FM. On BBC Radio 2.
And don't you dare touch that knob.